The warm Toledo sun beat down upon us as we made the journey to San Felipe to meet Juan and Abelina Cho, owners of IXCACAO, Maya Belizean chocolate. The lengthy drive was immediately worth it, as upon arrival, gusts of wind brought hints of the chocolate goodness to come. Juan greeted us and had this to say about his village.
Here we are in the community of San Felipe with a population of 308 people altogether, within a total of 45 homes, and everyone speak Maya Ekchi dialect. And of course, we're very much interesting people in this community being sustainable farmers, growing the food we eat, and of course, preserving and conserving whatever has been left behind.
From that introduction, Juan took us on a tour around his home that was a mini representation of the 10 acres of land that produce cacao and all other necessary ingredients that go into the making of the fabulous IXCACAO chocolates. Students from Harvard and Brown universities, in addition to local schools and communities, visit to learn more about chocolate as well as sustainable farming methods.
Looking at the side note of practicing monoculture in large-scale farming methods, when we look around us, the small farmers, they cannot afford to do large-scale farming methods. However, what alternative do they have? There is another way of doing things, and it can be done.
Cacao farming is thought to be one of the most sustainable farming practices available, as cacao is grown under the canopy of rainforest trees, though fruit trees in the Chaw's case. The time frame of 3.5 years from seed to fruit-bearing tree, plus the fact that a tree can bear for 100 years, make it a good investment for small farmers. This is why the folks at IXCACAO firmly believe that chocolate will save the rainforest. Cacao, true to the motto of Belize, flourishes in the shade, requiring a 50-50 ratio of shade to sunlight for best growing conditions. In keeping with this characteristic and their thrust towards sustainable farming, IXCACAO practices a diverse or intercropping system which results in 3 canopies or levels of trees. A highest canopy that provides an adequate amount of shade and light for the cacao plants, which in turn are higher than younger plants. Apart from providing ingredients and additional flavors for the chocolate, the abundance of fruit trees welcome the presence of other animals.
The birds contribute to a wide range of controlling the population of either unwanted insects. For example, mosquitoes. Mosquitoes could be either consumed by birds or bats. One bat is estimated to consume over 300 insects per hour. So look at that, how beneficial they can be. There's no need to exclude one of them. All of them have to be balanced in its own form of ecosystem.
Juan also spoke about the role that diverse cropping plays in maintaining the quality of nutrients in the soil.
This other tree you can see, it's producing some huge giant pods. This one is in the Brie family. It's considered to be leguminous. All leguminous trees or crops are considered to be nutrient fixers, and they would fix back micronutrients in the soil as in the form of nitrogen. So there is a need for having an intercropping system or a diversified farming system. So doing, there is no need for one to be having to worry about putting in synthetic products into the soil that will cause us unhealthy products at its end product. And of course, here is where we take the opportunity to teach our farmers about sustainable organic farming methods. There is another way, and chocolate is able to teach us.
In learning more about chocolate in general and the specific varieties used on the Chaw's farm, we learned that the original version is called Criollo. On being presented to the European courts, the Criollo was hybridized to form the Forastero. Forastero beans provide most of the world's chocolate, and by flavor standards is normal. When this hybrid bean was reintroduced to its natural habitat, it was noticed that it displayed a weakness to fungal infections. A crossing of the Criollo and Forastero beans resulted in the Trinitario, which is usually larger than the criollo and is more disease resistant than forastero. Criollo and forastero are considered fine flavor beans. Their production in Belize are the reason that Belizean cacao is so highly sought after, even though providing roughly 5% of the global market. Moving upstairs to the display and dining room gave us the opportunity to open the pods we had just harvested without knives and taste the coating around the beans. The taste of this was only beaten by the actual chocolate samples that we got. Some of the flavors were orange, coconut, and chili. All these ingredients, in addition to sugar and honey for sweetening, are produced on the IXCACAO farm, so that the products are totally self-sustaining and totally organic. Now for a quick recap of the types of cacao beans.
Criollo, forastero, trinitario. From both parents, you get this bigger fruit.
After the fun sampling, we got down to business of making chocolate from the beans. Juan showed us some beans that had already been fermented and roasted. He showed us, or tried to show us, the physics behind shelling the beans. When we filled 2 small calabash containers, they were winnowed by hand. Then, showing that nothing is wasted, the shells from the roasted beans were used as mulch around the plants. It was now time to grind the beans. It was humbling to learn that the tool used for this was a gift that was passed down from his grandparents to his parents and then to him on his wedding day.
Eat while you work.
Grinding 1-pound batches of cacao beans, ground in this way for 2 to 3 hours, would produce approximately 5 bars of chocolate in a day.
So you can see it's actually melted out without the use of an electronic, mechanical device or any sort of modern tool. This is how our ancestors actually made it.
Profits from this initial style of production, together with a matching grant from the Sustainable Tourism Program under the government of Belize through BTB, have enabled the purchase of newer equipment. Some bought at yard sales, some designed by Juan and built by the Mennonite community, that now allow 40 pounds of chocolate to be produced in 24 hours, a big difference. If you are waiting on the month of May to once again savor Belizean's chocolate stout, here is an interesting fact.
This is the Bear of Belize. However, coming for Chocolate Festival, we have produced the cacao powder solely for Belize Brewing Company Limited to bring about a chocolate stout. So chocolate stout will be launched again at Chocolate Festival, and all of that is the product of IXCACAO Maya Belizean chocolate powder in the chocolate stout.
Asked about their involvement in the Chocolate Fest and what it means to them, Juan had this to say.
We'll be having our technologies displayed at the various sites of the Chocolate Festival, and we being the only Maya owned and operated chocolate operation here in the country of Belize, we're very thankful to showcase what we have to offer, and by doing so we believe that we're sending a positive message to our community, to our country, to our children, to our youths, that there is something else much more worth doing than being in another situation where there is no happiness or hope.
A trip to IXCACAO Maya Belizean chocolate should be on your list of things to do in Belize. It's educational, adventurous, and tasty. For Belmopan Weekly, I'm DK Ronstar.